Champions League knockout stages. On table 3, Harriet Haynes, Paula Boyd. Harriet Haynes, Paula Boyd, table 3. Table 4, Sarah Dunn, Lauren Williams. Sarah Dunn, Lauren Williams, table 4. Table 5, Michelle Brown, Megan Proctor. Michelle Brown, Megan Proctor, table 5. On table 6, Sophie Gibbs Nichols, Sharon Lund. Sophie Gibbs Nichols, Sharon Lund, table 6. On 7, Sharon James, Cat Jones. Sharon James, Cat Jones, table 7. On table 8, Michaela Gardner, Emma Cunningham. Michaela Gardner, Emma Cunningham, table 8. On table 9, Lindsay Roberts, Lynn Pinches. Lindsay Roberts, Lynn Pinches, table 9. And table 10, Leanne Cragg, Amy Beecham. Leanne Cragg, Amy Beecham, table 10. In the ladies' Europa League knockout stages, on table 11, Viv Rusco, Rachel Davis. Viv Rusco, Rachel Davis, table 11. Table 12, Eliana Ionescu, Lauren Whitmore. Eliana Ionescu, Lauren Whitmore, table 12. Table 13, Narkis Sabari, Alice Day. Narkis Sabari, Alice Day, table 13. Table 14, Maria Lewis, Dawn Zambalati. Maria Lewis, Dawn Zambalati, table 14. Table 15, Dawn Wright, Jeanette Baptist. Dawn Wright, Jeanette Baptist, table 15. Table 16, Bex McCool, Laura Knight. Bex McCool, Laura Knight, table 16. Table 17, Marie Cosgrove, Frankie Rogers. Marie Cosgrove, Frankie Rogers, table 17. And finally, on table 18, Alexandra Kuna, Dawn Keeling. Alexandra Kuna, Dawn Keeling, table 18.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the action from the World Rules Pool Tour. Event 3, this is the main event. It's the semi-final. The semi-final between Craig Lakin and Stevie Dempsey. Craig Lakin wins the lag. He breaks off in frame number 1. And he is going to be taking yellows. Always difficult, I find. That, well, the 9 o'clock start affects people in different ways. Some people enjoy it, some people hate it. This is a good start from Craig. Just needs to navigate through the gap. Well, yeah, you could see him puff his cheeks. That was a little bit tighter than it needed to be. He had quite a big gap to play for. The white seemed to die off the bottom. He did put a bit of check side on it, so it did kill it, but black in. And Craig Lakin takes frame number 1 with a nice break and clear. First chance we've had to have a look at Stevie Dempsey over this weekend. Another top-class player from over there in Ireland. They do seem to be able to produce them. So good morning everyone, and thanks for joining us. I know it's an early start on this Sunday, but just the way the schedule panned out, I'm afraid we couldn't get these semi-finals in yesterday as they were scheduled due to the clashes between the two events. Players still in both events, and Tom Cousins, well, I watched his Jason Owen Open match last night against Adam Davis. Adam was 4-2 up and on the hill, and he missed the last red. Very makeable shot, and I think basically missed balls in the last sort of 3 frames. He missed the black in at 4 each. So Tom Cousins is still in both events. I think the Jason Owen Open's now down to, I want to say the last 16, but it might be the last 8. So Tom's still in both events, with a chance to recreate what Jack Whelan did down in London and win both events. Let's just have a look at where we're up to on the Jason Owen Open. No, it's pretty deep into last 16. So good last 16 too. Eddie Barker, Gaz Hibbert, Rob Warren, Christian Disney, Luke Gilbert, Peter Mullany, John McAllister, Tom Cousins. Oh, what a game that is coming up. That one due to start at 10:15 this morning, but obviously there's still going to be clashes, as Tom's also got his semi-final to play. Dom Cooney, Dylan Leary, Carl Morris, Jordan Green, Wayne Gardner, Jack Whelan, and Dan Eaton-Lease against Mike King. So that's the last 16 from the Open. And as I say, due to kick off at 10:15 this morning. Both of these games are now in action. We've got Craig Lakin against Stevie Dempsey on table 1, as we're watching, and Ben Flack against Tom Cousins is the other semi-final. That's just started over on table 2. We can get a camera across on table 2, so what we'll try and do is just try and keep an eye on that action this morning as well. And again, apologies for, we would have loved to have streamed both of these games. We would have loved to have streamed them as per the schedule last night, but things just went awry, and we'd have been streaming until, 3 o'clock in the morning, I think. That's table 2 just in the foreground. There you go, you see Tom at the table. That's frame number 1. So as mentioned, we'll keep a running watch on that game. In the meantime, Stevie Dempsey making a good fist of this clearance. Do please like and share the stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I know it's early Sunday morning, and probably a lot of people that don't know that this is on, so any chance you get to share it for us is greatly appreciated. We are streaming across Facebook and YouTube on the Beard Productions channel. Looks like he's going to take the yellow to middle. Oh, Cuban. Perilously close to that top right pocket, but he navigated it well. Black, a little bit of a tester for a Sunday morning, when you want to get yourself on the board. Could have been a bit easier. But yeah, played it well. And that's one frame each. High standard of pool so far. Again, open. Yellows look decent. Obviously the yellow on the left side rail, which needs a bit of attention. Obviously potable, but he could also move it if he needs to. You've got a couple of yellows adjacent to it. Got an angle now from, I was going to say, had a little angle he could have run off the bottom, on and off the bottom cushion, but I don't think he's going to try and move this yellow. Doesn't need to. He can take these two to right and then play the one to middle and just drop in the yellow down the rail. Play it as his last ball to get onto the black. Needs some good cueing. As we've said over the weekend, the table's not playing quite as generous as they were in the first couple of events, so he needs to nail this to the middle of the pocket, and he does. What a great shot. Played with such confidence. And what a start to this match. 3 breaking clears. Craig Lakin leads 2 frames to 1. Just across on table number 2, Tom Cousins. As you can see on the black, with a very awkward little leave. Tricky cut. Made it. So we just missed the break over on the other table, so apologies for that. It was Stevie Dempsey broke that one and he went in off. So Craig Lakin with ball in hand. Lovely little shot to develop that difficult red on the side. plan would be to work his way down the table. This one to middle and then the one down the side. Probably just a touch more angle than he'd like. Just needs to think about the red in the middle of these three. It doesn't pass the bottom left, but it will go to bottom right. Yeah, and that little angle he had is just cost him the shot. He'll be very annoyed. He was trying to hold to make sure he had an angle on the next red to middle, so the plan was play the one to middle and then come off the bottom cushion with left hand side to come up the left side of the table. And no thoughts from Stevie about attacking there. Played a defensive shot, but he's not executed that well at all. You could see Stanley with hands on hips, not happy. He's left a gap below that yellow. So you can see from there that red will squeeze past the yellow with much too big a gap. It was a bit of a clumsy one. Going to play that red now and come up for the one in the middle of the table. Yeah, there, that just shows you it was clumsy by Stevie, and clumsy again really from Lakin. He's just, positional side of things is just not quite there at the moment, but he's potting his way out of trouble. Cue ball off the top cushion, travelling a bit more than ideal. And again, black could be a little easier, but again, you like him to get it? No. Well, and almost in off as well. Well, Craig is 2-1 up, but he'll be the one that's fuming of the two. A minute ago, Stevie played a loose shot, and he's got away with it. And that all really came about because of a couple of loose positional shots from Craig. Just landed short of where he wanted to be on his last red to right middle, and then landed short again on the black. I mean, his body language suggested that he had a bad contact, because he kind of came up off of it as if in disappointment rather than annoyance that he's missed a ball. It was one of those kind of like cue in the air moments, which often signify that the player's just disappointed that they've had a bad contact. So quite possible that he had a bad contact on that black. But regardless, it was a missed opportunity, and Stevie Dempsey levels things up at 2 frames all, when really he should have been sat in his chair annoyed. So that across on table 2, the scoreline is currently 1 each. So Tom won the first frame, and Ben with a breaking clear to win the second frame. And Tom gets frame 3 underway as we come back to see Craig Lakin's break. Almost kicked it off, but he's okay. Well, reds would normally be the choice, but he's. I think he has to go reds, and he has to take the one that he has to take the one long. I don't think you can go yellows. All the yellows go apart from obviously the one sat on top of the black. But a good shot there to pot and develop. Maybe can consider himself a touch unfortunate that it hasn't come out slightly better than that. Don't know if the one that he's closest to passes to middle. No. I think he can get through to the one just above the black spot to cut it into the middle, but that's a horrible shot and the cue ball's travelling. But I don't think there's any safety, so I think a little containing shot, but maybe not enough. He's tried to get the cue ball in and around behind the black. He's left a yellow to middle. There's a little tester playing across the nap. Nice shot. Now, excuse me, all of the yellows go. They all have a pocket. They're just a little tricky in which order you take them in. He has navigated these well, just needs one more good shot. He needs to find the gap to land on the black. Those are the kind of shots where you can, if you're ever going to get a kick, it's on those kind of shots where you're just rolling it forward a couple of inches. Took those out well. Craig will be annoyed. Could realistically be 4-1 ahead. He's missed the black in the previous frame and had a half a chance, albeit ran out of position in with that. I guess he was trusting to luck a little bit on the developing shot, but yeah, I think he'll feel a little bit aggrieved that he didn't get a slightly better chance on that one. But as it stands, it's Stevie Dempsey with 5 frames played. He leads 3 frames to 2. It's his break. What a nice break. Cue ball controlled really well, screwed straight up through the centre of the table. And all of the reds have come out. Probably going to have to play a long red to top left to open the account, but they are all there. Just working out the order in which he wants to take them. So he's worked out the pattern. The key is going to be the black. Do you try and move it? Or do you try and land on it? And it really only goes to probably top left. Yeah, from there only goes to top left, so it's whether you try and find that gap between the yellows or you try and move it, and he's going to try and move it, quite rightly so as well. You wouldn't fancy trying to land on this for a difficult black, so he's got an angle just to kick over into it now. Needs to hit it half. Oh, he's missed the pot. He has missed the pot. Sacrificed that. He was just focused on where he wanted to be on that little cannon. He canned it well. He worked it out well. Just forgot the important piece of the puzzle. But the table's pretty ordinary for Craig. And that's clumsy as well. That's similar to what Stevie played earlier. It's not really in Craig's nature to be covering pockets, so all he's managed to do there is create a bigger pocket for the red that's on the side cushion. These should be fairly unmissable now. And the black now in the open. It was going to be hard for Craig because there weren't any real attacking options for yellows, especially with the red hanging over the left pocket, so I could understand why he did what he did. Apologies, I was just away grabbing myself a cup of coffee, and that was a bit of a shocking miss from Stevie, it's got to be said. It's, I say they were fairly unmissable. And that ball down the rail into a, well, it'd been made a big pocket. I think he'll be very, very disappointed. As it was previously, it's still an awkward table for yellows. And now the yellow's gone behind the black, it's even more so. Now neither of those yellows pass into bottom right. I'm just, I don't know how he attacks from here. I mean, the yellow on the blue spot he has. I think, unless he, yeah, I mean, yellow near the blue spot obviously goes into top right. If you can then get an angle on the yellow to the right of it, I did wonder if he was going to play this one below the black. Very tricky. He's had a couple of bites at the cherry, but not really good bites. I mean, Stevie's really got away with one here. A couple of poor errors in the misread that's hung over the pocket, and then the one missed down to the right, and Craig not being able to punish him, and not through his own fault really. He's just left with a horrible table both times. As we said, very much got away with one here. Normally, you can't make one glaring mistake, but he's made two there. Tom Cousins is leading 3-2 against Ben Flack. You can see in the foreground, Ben is currently at the table, and it looks like that is what he was left after the break. And yeah, not a great layout. Must win frame this one. dear. It goes from bad to worse. Horrible. This one getting away from Craig Lakin now, and what can you say? I mean, he's not really done that much wrong. There's a face of a man who is not happy. Mind you, it could be the face of a man who's extremely hungover as well. Again, that's not what Stevie was looking for. Trying to develop the black, so this is still awkward. I just wonder whether the black will double. There's yellows in that path, but I think there's a gap between them. I reckon it does. The problem he has now is he's running out of balls in which to develop. If he was not so close to the cushion, he could use the one below the black spot, but he's too close to the cushion to be able to get any kind of purchase on it, so this now is not straightforward. You can see there is a gap between those two yellows. The black would double, but it's not a nice double. Absolutely no safety options, so he's looking now at taking the black long. Could he get to the potting angle? Possibly, but again, a horrible shot to have to play. I think literally he's taking his medicine here. He may be looking to move it off of his last red. Well, yeah, there he goes. But it is one of those moments where all your eggs in one basket. So just looking at the angle he needs now, and depends how you. Well, let's see what angle he leaves first. I think the only option he has is to stun across into it, but he's not guaranteed. He's looking at a full ball contact on the left hand side, black off the cushion, and leave it on for the same pocket this red's going into. Well, no. I was going to say, has he left it down the cushion, but no. And that's always the problem. That's why you always hear people advocate, if you have a problem ball, address it as early as possible. And this is exactly why. This would be some shot if he pulls it off. Got the black moving. Oh, no. So. Craig having a little smile. I wonder if there's... No. Yeah, just going to play a deliberate foul now, just to roll on top of the yellow. It basically, it's one of those, it wastes the first shot. It's always key in these rules that if you're going to give away two, then you waste the first. I wonder if he's left a touching ball. If he has, then Craig can just play around the angles to leave himself it's a horrible place to want to attack with just one visit. The black's hard. Well, it's not touching, which allows him just to develop that difficult yellow. You can now develop the black. Just needs to be where... Yeah, he played that really well. I was going to say, if he punted it down the rail, then he was in danger of it going in front of this yellow, so he judged that really well. So this was a huge frame. Oh wow, that's just not good. And now he just needs to take his time. Oh dear me. That's only just made it in off that near knuckle. I think he had his back to us, but if you could have seen it, I think he would have had a puff of his cheeks. He's just not feeling it at the moment, I don't think. Went back and put his head in his hands. But remembering that we're in Blackpool and last night was Saturday night, chances are Craig was having a few jars last night. I'm doubting that he was having an early night, 10 o'clock in bed with his feet up. Just interestingly, across on that Tom Cousins game, that is actually still 3-2. So that frame taking a while. And just potting the black now for 4-2. Oh, he's missed it. He's missed it, so that one should be 3 each. So this was another chance for Craig. Stevie's dry break. Doesn't look a happy man, does he? Someone get that man a bottle of water. If ever you want to see somebody who was sat there thinking, I'm never going to drink again, then that is a look at that man. Oh, nice. Develop the bad red. Tricky clearance though, isn't it? The two reds in the middle of the table. He's looking now, obviously there is a gap between the red-yellow to be able to get through to the one just below the black into the middle, but that's a small margin of error. Looking again. I think he's going to play for that gap, knowing that if he doesn't get it, he's still got the one down the cushion. Yeah. Is that it? I think maybe okay. Yeah, he's okay. He found it. Perfect, I'd say. Yeah, there it is. Looks like he can get through the gap, so probably take the one to middle next if he can, then the one down that right-hand side cushion. Just a little bit awkward still in how they connect. Just see him digging down in the ball, just trying to. He obviously hasn't quite got the potting angle, so he's just looking at just turning it over with a touch of right hand side. But he's decided that's not the way to go. If he's found the gap, which he has, yeah, he's back in perfect shape now. This was a better way of going at them anyway. I think he was just nervous about finding this gap, because if it went wrong, he was in trouble. But I think he's absolutely in prime now. He can just play this and run through a couple of inches, take the one down the rail, leave the red on the bottom cushion until last to get onto the black. Should be fine from here. If anything, maybe just, I was going to say maybe a touch straight, but he's actually okay. And now you play this with, well, I mean, you can play it plain ball and just take the black into top right, or you can play it with just a trace of right hand side and open up the angle and play the black to middle. I think he'll just play it plain ball. Taking it to middle. So again, a frame that Craig Lakin had first opportunity at goes to Stevie Dempsey, and he extends his lead. He's now 5-3 ahead. Ben Flack did indeed clear that table, and he's 3 each and on a clearance, so could well be taking the lead here. Yeah, looks destined to be 4-3 when Tom missed that black to be 4-2 ahead. Try break from Craig. Could make a case for either here. The red's in bulk plant. It's just about the opening ball. It's got the cut to bottom right, or it's got the red to left middle. But I don't know. Yeah, it was one of those that, as I say, you could probably make a case for either. I think both colour sets are open and don't really need any development. It was just about how you saw the pattern, and neither had a particularly great opening ball. I think Stevie Dempsey is going to be going on the hill. That's way short, and that was a kick. Trying to get another probably 5 inches up the table, 6 inches, which would have left this really simple. And there you go, slamming his cue down. This is horrible because he has to play the yellow on the bulk line, but the two reds that are up in bulk, they're kind of a guide for the cue ball. The cue ball cannot fail to contact them, and it kind of guides the cue ball towards the pocket. It's fraught with danger. may be able to get into the ball and screw behind them, but this now is a lot more difficult where he's playing it with just touches. Well, he's queuing up as if he was going to play it with a bit of right hand side and then just drop it in and try and hold. But as I say, those two reds look like a guide for me. He's just looking at playing from the gap, which means that he's going to have to play some delicate little screw shot to come in behind those two reds and find that gap again. Really difficult. Well, that's what he's playing. This needs to be played well, needs to be cued well. He did screw around the back of them, and now he's got a very thin cut to right middle, and that cue ball is going to be travelling. Look at the action he's putting on the cue ball. That is a super shot. Very nice clearance. Really good. That's 6 frames to 3 in favour of Stevie Dempsey. He's on the hill. He needs one more. And Craig Lakin, well, he needs a bit of a miracle now. So over on the other table, table 2, Tom Cousins at the table. And he is 4 frames to 3 behind, but looks like it's going to be 4-all quite soon. Just wonder about that black. Black looks pretty close to the cushion. Stevie Dempsey across on the other table has broken off and gone in off, so that's the second time he's done that. Tried to develop that red. Hasn't done it, so could just stand across and land on this red, so this is a decent opportunity. Wow, this is he's trying to get across the table and to be able to play this one up the left side rail. This is going to have to be some shot to get from this last red onto the black. You're going to see this one fizz. He's got the right angle. It's perfect. You can just this one's more about timing than power. You won't see him play it ridiculously hard, but just about timing. Delightful. Just hampered though. It's just not. Oh look, fuming. You got a shot, Craig. Don't let those negative thoughts get in your head before you even get down on the shot, because you've missed it before you even start cueing it. I mean, it is horrid, but it's not going to change. That's the point. There's no point letting loads of negativity get through, because that will transfer into your back arm, and you've got no chance of potting it. So you literally, it's not going to change. So just get down, compose yourself, and pot it. It was horrid. It was horrid, to be fair. But you felt like he just never seemed to give himself a chance, did he? He was, as I say, in his mind, already missed it before he'd even played it. Not a certainty, the clearance though for Stevie. He does have an angle here. I don't think he'll use it to try and develop the two on the right hand side, but he could. Yeah, he's going to take the one to middle. Not sure if would he try and kick the other one out, or is he going to play the plant? I think possibly from the angle he's at, possibly leave the plant. He's got an option to play a snooker if he wants to, but pretty sure he won't. I think he's gonna want to take this clearance out, and I think I mean, again, he's got an angle, or he can play the one to left and then leave an angle to play the one to right middle and kick into the other yellow. Doesn't have to do much with it. Just needs to knock it out sort of 5-6 inches. He's guaranteed to be on the one down the rail. So I think I prefer that than leaving the plant, because the plant's tricky. So here you go. He's got the perfect angle to do it. So you can just go rail first and just kick that yellow out. Leave the cue ball where it is. Here you go. Played it well. He's got a lovely angle on that same ball, actually. He's going to play that to corner, bottom rail, just cue all back over towards this right hand side. I think this is all over. It's all over, and he knows it. Stevie Dempsey, the Irishman, is going to be in the final. And the players shake hands. Be interesting. Oh, sorry. What am I saying? What am I saying? I apologise. That's my mistake. It's been raced to 7s all weekend, and of course they change it for the semi-final, don't they? It's actually a race to 8. I've had a howler there. Sorry, folks. Yeah. Oh dear. Wouldn't it be funny if Craig Lakin came back and won it for me? For me. After all that. Oh, what a wally. Oh dear. That's a bad one. See, I've got Paul Moulding in my ear taking the mickey at me, but he thought it was all over as well, because he was just saying to the cameraman, get the handshake, get the handshake. So it was his fault, really, because and he's stitching me up here. He's taking the mickey. Get the handshake, he said. He's had me one. Honestly, he has. I thought it was race to 7 as well, so. Doesn't get any easier for Craig, though, does it? Great shot. Needed that cue ball across another foot, though. He was trying to play the yellow to the right in bulk, leave an angle to knock the other one out, but he's had to go down table. Oh dear. He's not got away with that, has he? Surely. I think he has. If he can't quite see it, he can just turn it over. Well, that could have been disaster. This is a pretty horrible layout for Stevie, though. You feel like he's almost forced to take in the one along the top cushion now. But so many difficult shots here. I don't even know if the one just above the middle drops into the middle. No, look, that one's welded to the side cushion. So, oh, this is horrid. Tom Cousins has retaken the lead at 5 frames to 4. Yeah, that was always going to be difficult, and look what he was left with, even if he made it. Oh, that's match over. He concedes, and they shake hands. It just wasn't there for Craig. He's not a happy man. He started well, started like a train, but wasn't to be in the end. So after the fake ending, we had the real ending. It was a race to 8, and Stevie Dempsey is the victor. He goes through into the final. We're going to catch a few words with him over in the interview room in a minute, and then we should be able to come back and just focus on the action on table 2 to watch a conclusion of that match. Morning, Stevie.
Howdy.
You're in the final. I don't know what to say about that game, really. It was both got off to a good start, three break and clears, but he just didn't turn up after that, did he?
Yeah, I was a bit worried at the start because, you know, he's the type of player when he's going well, you're up for a match, he can blow you off the table, but I was just trying to stick with him at the start. I missed one or two balls like that. Like, I felt like I was queuing well, just lack of concentration really on small shots, but once I got level with him and got ahead, he started to he missed one or two and he just sort of got down on himself a bit, like, and I just tried to sort of hammer it home a little bit, like.
I mean, the body language from him, he kind of sat in the corner with his head in his hands. You kind of, I mean, any kind of pressure you may have felt was probably taken off, but because he's just almost kind of, I don't know about conceded, but it just wasn't at the races from that point on.
Yeah. I think there was a bit of pressure on both of us because I guess it was a semi-final. We're not really in too many finals, either of us, and we're both looking at each other as if it's not a Cousins or a Harrison we're playing here. It's a good chance to get to the final. So there's a bit of added pressure there. But I think he missed a bad black. I think to go 3-1 up. And I think he sort of never really recovered from that after that.
How'd you find that 9 o'clock start?
It's not ideal, really. Like, I think especially when you've got plenty of time to play it later on, like, you know, but. It is what it is. Same for everyone, I suppose. Yeah,
I think it's a clash for the Jason Owen because I mean you're straight back in action in that, aren't you?
No, I got beat last night.
Oh, were you? Sorry, mate.
5-4.
Okay.
Yeah, bad loss,
but I mean, you're in the final. You're going to be taking on either Tom or Ben. I think when I last looked, Tom was 5-4 ahead. Yeah. So I mean, you know, whichever gets through, you're going to have it's a big game. It's a tough game.
Yeah. Look at him. Just I guess I'll just have to try and break well and play well.
Yeah.
Like I played really well in my previous 2 matches before. I played Craig. I played okay against Craig. Just a couple of scrappy shots here and there. But if I can get rid of them, hopefully I can go okay.
Yeah. Well, best of luck in the final.
Cheers.
Hope to see you back here.
Hopefully.
For a chat afterwards.
Yeah, hopefully.
Cheers, Stevie. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Thanks.